Hi guys, it's Pop Buzz again in another video. Given how much revenue idols generate for Cube Entertainment, one would expect the company to cater to their every need. But that couldn't be farther from the truth. Cube has repeatedly shown a lack of respect for the group, and it looks like the members have finally had enough. Mistreatment against the girls started when they hadn't even debuted yet. Yuqi recently appeared on Big Bang's Daesung's Daily Show and talked about her time as a trainee, and it sounded brutal. The conversation started when Yuqi mentioned that her appetite had severely decreased after she joined the company just because of how often she was put on a diet. Back then, she revealed, trainees would have to weigh themselves at the company every Saturday, which would have Yuqi experiencing indigestion. Daesung appeared shocked at this, and his reaction surprised Yuqi, especially since many who trained under YG mentioned that they had to weigh themselves daily. Daesung admitted it seemed like female trainees faced stricter monitoring, sharing how Park Bomb from 2NE1 would have to hide just to eat bread. Yuqi confirmed that this was common practice among female idols, who often had to eat in secret and hide in dressing rooms just to take a bite. Daesung then went on to ask what was the most effective way of losing weight, which had Yuqi revealing one particularly cruel method forced on the girls by Cube. She shared that after the Chuseok holiday, when everyone naturally gained a bit of weight from spending time with family, the company would print out a list of their weights and put it in front of the office for everyone, including the senior artists at the company, to see as a form of punishment. The trainees had to see the list every day, which pushed them to shed the extra weight so that they wouldn't feel embarrassed. Yuqi even admitted that her dieting got so extreme, she dropped 5 kilograms in just 3 days. She did this by eating almost nothing, which was shocking to say the least. Considering these were mostly young girls, having their weights publicly displayed by the company likely took a toll on their mental health. Another thing that Yuqi revealed in Daesung's show was that the group was going to be named something entirely different. According to Yuqi, Cube was thinking of naming them Black Cube, Purple Rose, Black Red, Black Kiss, or anything with colors in them. Ultimately, Cube decided to name the group I-DLE, but their meaning behind the name of the group was lackluster and even uninspired. Soyeon revealed that the company wanted to connect the Korean meaning of idol, which refers to children, with the English meaning of idle, which implies doing nothing, aiming for a theme around not being bored. However, Soyeon wasn't satisfied with the original meaning and decided to create her own, which arguably made more sense. In fact, we can conclude that if it wasn't for Soyeon and her creative input on the group's music as well as everything else, the group wouldn't be the powerhouse that it is today. If we're being completely candid though, if not for Soyeon, the group might never have debuted in the first place. In an early interview, Soyeon shared that she didn't initially want to become the main songwriter of the group. However, when their debut kept getting delayed due to not having a title track, she decided to take matters into her own hands and put her skills to work. No matter how much she worked to ensure that the girls were going to debut, it was obvious that Cube wasn't going to make any effort. Whether they were incompetent or just didn't have any faith in their success, Soyeon had to do everything herself. She made the group's debut song LATATA using pirated software, which she later got a lot of flack for because the company didn't give her the necessary resources to do her work properly. She was also involved in the designing of the album and even the logo of the group. The girls also choreographed an intro and dance break for the LATATA stages 1 week before they were set to hit the stage. It was heavily speculated that Cube was on the brink of bankruptcy at the time, which could explain the low-budget teasers for the debut. The photos of the members standing against a wall with a plastic bag taped to it, and another photo shoot took place in a dingy alley and only featured a shabby couch and a trash container. The album only sold 260 copies at the time, which was shockingly low for a group coming from a company that housed groups like 4 Minute and Beast. But it was just the start for Soyeon and the girls. Since then, she's been in charge of basically everything, creating concepts for every comeback, presenting detailed pitches to Cube, including ideas for everything from hairstyles to nail designs. She handles much of the songwriting, producing, composing, arranging, and sometimes even oversees music video filming. She gives input for the styling and album packaging. The other members are also pretty involved in the creative process. And while it's great, it's strange seeing the company be so minimally incorporated. Whenever the company gets involved though, things tend to go wrong, proving that Soyeon should remain the creative force behind it all. For example, they thought that Soyeon shouldn't name her song Nude because it was too risky and inappropriate. But this just convinced her that the title was the right choice. And, well, she was correct. This can also be seen in the I Sway era. When Soyeon appeared on Dex's fridge, she explained, "I really managed every single thing. All the features, before the song, marketing, planning, photos, what to wear." However, she decided to take the backseat for once and entrust the work to Cube. When it came to everything related to this era, she only wrote the title track Klaxon as she believed that she should entrust her work to others and not take all the burden herself. However, fans noticed her lack of involvement immediately. According to them, the teasers, the concept pictures, and even the music video had a lower quality than we're used to seeing when Soyeon is fully involved in the process. So, the one time that Soyeon decides to give herself a break, after doing so much work for other groups and other artists as well, Cube puts as little effort as possible into the teasers and everything else. It also seems like the company practically gives up on the group whenever there are hard times. First, it was before their debut when a company with as many talented idols and producers as them was struggling to find a producer for the group's debut song. Second, it was right before the Tomboy era, arguably I-DLE's worst time, when Soojin was accused of mistreatment and was forced to leave the group and the company despite her innocence. Since she was one of the most popular and one of the main stand attractors of the group, many thought that this was going to be the end of I-DLE as we know them. But then they came back with Tomboy and proved everyone wrong. From then on, Soyeon took on the role of executive producer for the group. Fans believe this shift happened because the company had lost faith in them, thinking they would never go back to their glory days pre-scandal. It's also thought that Soyeon saw this and decided to take control, as she always does, which is why she ended up with the executive producer role. The biggest issue that the girls have had with the company is the way they overwork them to the bone. The members are known to be very hardworking themselves, but it's obvious that Cube is trying to milk them until their contracts are over. They released Tomboy in early 2022, went on the Just Me I-DLE World Tour in June, and released Nude in October. After having their comeback with Queen Card back in May of 2023, I-DLE spent 3 weeks performing on music shows and attending university events, getting barely any sleep. Then they began their global tour, I Am, Free T, and Seoul, on June 18th with a 2-day concert. By July, they were in Taiwan, Thailand, and Hong Kong. And their tour continued through North America and Europe in August and September, wrapping up with shows in Japan, Macau, and Singapore in late September and October. Shortly before the tour wrapped up, they also released their first English mini album, Heat, which gave them no time to rest. Fans hoped that Cube would make the girls take a break after the tour, but it seems like they had other plans. After the tour, the group participated in Mama 2023 on November 28th, and then joined the Jingle Bell Tour and performed multiple shows throughout December. They quickly returned to Korea for year-end performances. 2024 hasn't been any easier on them as they released and promoted their second full album, 2, and then I Sway, and now embarked on yet another tour titled I-DLE, featuring concerts in Asia, the US, and Australia, which is supposed to end in November. The members have also been busy with their own solo stuff, with Yuqi being one of the busiest, as she has about 20 different schedules lined up just this month. Given their intense schedule, it's not surprising that the members frequently fell ill and had to miss events to take care of their health. Cube's recent mistake involves Soyeon, who had to issue her own statement to clarify the situation due to the company's incompetence. The whole thing started when Soyeon got on stage at I-DLE's I-DLE tour for the performance of her song, Is This Bad B Number. The performance was amazing, as one would expect from Soyeon, but she had added a verse in the song that caused a lot of trouble for everyone involved. She rapped, "Contract ends November. Who's to stop me? I don't have to tiptoe." This sparked confusion because it seemed like when the contract would eventually come to an end, the members of I-DLE were going to renew with the company. But now it sounded like Soyeon, and maybe the others as well, were eager to leave. Cube quickly responded with a statement saying the lyrics were just part of the performance, and that all I-DLE members plan to renew their contracts next year. However, media reports soon claimed that Cube was upset with Soyeon's actions, which changed things up. The reports said that the company was worried about inaccurate reports damaging them because Soyeon's actions hadn't been discussed with them beforehand. Fans felt this response was overly dramatic, and that Cube's reaction only made things worse. The idea that Soyeon didn't inform them also seemed off since the lyrics were displayed behind her during the performance, so the company should have known what she was gonna say. Soyeon wasn't having any of it though, and responded with a statement of her own on August 6th. She started by emphasizing that her goal is to make people happy, and then to make her team happy. She admitted that her work might sometimes be provocative or receive mixed reactions, but insisted she never lied or intended to harm anyone. Soyeon clarified that the performance in question was honest, and she didn't hide anything from the company. Despite the issues with Cube over the years and misleading media reports, she said she holds no grudge and hopes the situation would lead to mutual growth. To address the fallout, Cube released another statement claiming previous reports about Soyeon's performance were false, and this was their first official response. They apologized for any confusion caused by personal opinions being mistaken for their official stance, and confirmed they were aware of the song's lyrics. They also said renewal talks were in progress, but this response raised more questions than answers. Many were rightfully wondering who was the person who was making statements on behalf of Cube before the company officially decided on its position. Why would they risk the company's relationship with their biggest moneymaker over a personal opinion? It was also questioned why Cube took so long to clarify things, especially since they put Soyeon in an unfavorable position. This was especially confusing since the media reached out to them, and they still took too long to comment. Even though Soyeon hasn't responded to that statement, it looks like the relationship between her and Cube has been ruined beyond repair. It's being reported that Soyeon is looking to sign with other companies, such as Zico's Co's Entertainment. It's obvious that she isn't going to leave the group, but maybe she's looking to take her solo career and talents to another company that can appreciate her more and not create trouble for her after everything she has done for them. If they're doing this to Soyeon, who's to say that the other members won't also be disrespected by them? Thanks for watching. I'm happy to know your opinion about this issue of Cube Entertainment. Leave a comment down below. See you again in another video.